So, guys, there's been some sad and tragic news, I'm afraid, and I feel that we should do a moment's silence, although that won't quite work on the podcast, but whatever the podcast equivalent is, let's do it right now. For, that's right, you won't believe it. Our sister podcast, Retro Smashed podcast, is on hiatus for the time being, and that makes me sad.
It makes me sad. Those two guys are great.
Weldy and Eric, good lads,
Great.
Yes, but sadly, life has just gotten in the way for them. They're grown adults. They've got a lot to do. They've got a lot on their plates.
Oh, isn't Weldy? Weldy's a dad anyway.
He sure is. He's got two kiddos, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all sad and tragic news. So anyway, what we got to talk about to cheer ourselves up?
I went Scotland, boys.
Hey, what happened in Scotland?
I didn't go see your pot of land, Chris. I'm Lord Spanky. I did not see your pot of land.
So I forgot
Good, because I've barricaded it and put defences up, put a turret up and everything.
You just invaded your mates while I was there.
I put a landmine on my mates once, so if they even get close to my land, it'll go off.
I had a very good time in Scotland. I went on my own, but I had a good time in my own company, and I did a lot of travelling. Oh my gosh, I think I did over 1,000 miles on my car.
What the hell?
In the space of a week. But it was really good. I saw many castles. I climbed 2 mountains. I saw went for a few walks. Yeah, it was a nice week. It was a fun week, and I finally done all 3 peaks of the UK. And when I got back down, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna train a bit and actually do the 3 peak challenge either next year.
You're gonna go for it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it either next year or the year after, because I think I can do it. It's
nice one.
The 3 peak challenge is where you do all 3 in 24 hours, and I think I can do it because the time for Ben Nevis on the 3 peaks is 5 hours, and I did it in 5 hours 20 minutes.
Is that 5 hours? Was that up and down 5 hours, or just
up
base
and
top?
down?
Up and down in 5 hours. So did you not have like a break up top like we did at Snowdon?
Oh yeah, I'm talking about if I count the time that I was at the top, the break, then I was up and down. For me, it was 5 hours and 40. But if I get rid of that and it was just up and down, it was 5 hours 20, 5 hours 15-ish.
That's it.
So I reckon do a bit of training, I could smash it. Hopefully, maybe I'm being big-headed and being like, yeah, I could smash it. Maybe that's a bit. I would definitely need to do some training, but I would like to give it a proper go.
I'd say you need to pack some protein shakes for the day after.
Yeah. But no, Scotland was really good. I saw a lot. I saw the Hogwarts Express go along the viaduct it does in the film.
Oh, how was that?
That was really cool. I had to wait an hour and 50 because I saw it go over. When I got there and I was trying to park, I saw it go over and I was like, oh, I missed it. And then I had to wait an hour and 50 to see it go back over. But what it is. I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. I'm not really gone off it. But it was cool to see the train go over. That was a really cool, nice thing to see. But no, it was a really good week. I listened to a lot of music, listened to a lot of podcasts, and yeah, it was a good time away.
So for the sake of our viewers, of the 3 peaks, like how would you describe the route of Ben Nevis compared to when we did Snowdon and also your family trip at Scafell?
So I would say Ben Nevis is a mixture of the other 2. I would say the first 3/4 of Ben Nevis is very similar to Snowdon. Like the 2 routes I've done of Snowdon, it's very similar to them. It's a little bit rocky at times, but not too bad, to be honest. It's a nice incline. Like you do feel it, but the pace I went, it was like, yeah, I feel this, but it's not dragging me down. Like every person who was in front of me, I passed, and I wasn't even like trying to like go up as quick as I could. I was just like, I'm just gonna walk up, and I just passed them all. So it was funny when I was coming back down. I was like, hi again. And then the last section of Ben Nevis is more like Scarfelt Pike, where it's really rocky. I've got a video off the top. It was completely in fog and mist, and it felt like. It reminded me of Mordor because it was just so rocky and so misty. I was like, man, am I deep in Mordor without all the fire and flames? I was listening to the Lord of the Rings soundtracks all that day. So I was like, Mr. Frodo, I may not carry the ring, but I can carry you. But Yeah, it was a good day, and I definitely will be trying the free peak challenge at some point.
So if you do it next year, what you're admitting to is that will be your peak, and then it's all downhill from here.
No. All right,
That's life, I'm afraid.
No, there's definitely. I want to try doing the 2 peaks in Ireland. So the one in Northern Ireland and the one in Ireland. I want to have a go at them, but I think they're around the same size as Scarfelt Pike. So they're not.
All I know is if I ever want to do several peaks, I'll just buy myself a Toblerone.
Welcome to Victory Chi Podcast, a video game podcast. This is episode 36, and I'm Dan, and I'm with Brandon and Chris.
Hello, I'm the monkey brain.
I'm not the monkey brain.
You don't know that. You're Lord Spanky, and I'm guys. I guess. So guys, I actually whipped out my.
Excuse me.
I said it. And I was like, shit. I actually whipped out my PlayStation 1 recently.
Aw, it's only a 1.
I had to get my PlayStation 1 out for a good reason, though. I watched something, and I had a massive desire to replay a certain game related to this thing I watched. I watched Tekken Bloodlines, and I had to play Tekken 3 again because after watching Bloodlines, I had to play my favourite Tekken. And Bloodlines is all about Tekken 3, so it's a win-win situation.
But how close is it actually to like the Tekken? Like, has it got all the characters from it, and does it follow the same story? I say story, but you know what I mean.
Yes and no. Yes and no, because in the games, in Tekken 3, Paul Phoenix wins the King of Iron Fist tournament, and then he beats Ogre, and Jin beats True Ogre, and that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in the anime. So, but it's a 6-episode anime. I enjoyed it. It's not, as a anime fan, there are far better anime, but it made me want to play Tekken 3 again, and so it made me think, like, there's a bit more story to Tekken than meets the eye sometimes. It had like the little things about it I quite like. There's far better martial art animes, just watch Baki or something like that. There you go. But it was a fun 6-episode anime, and I had a good fun watching it. Had pretty much all the characters, most of the characters you'd expect from Tekken 3. So obviously Jin's in it because he's the main character, because it starts off with his mum dying. Obviously you got Hayachi. You can't not have Hayachi since he's like pretty much
basically the mascot.
Yeah, near enough. Not anymore, but yeah. Because he's not. I don't believe he's in Tekken 8, or if he is, I'm be very surprised. But I don't believe he's in Tekken 8. But yeah, you got Jin, Hayachi, Yoshimitsu appears for like a scene. You got is it Xiaoyun? Yeah, she's in it. She's like, I don't know. I never really thought much to her character in the games, but like the anime really made me like her character more. I was like, oh, they really got the fun vibe to her character really well. They came across really well in the anime. Nina Williams was pretty cool, although she doesn't have an Irish accent, so meh. Paul Phoenix was pretty cool. He just felt like that cool dude. He didn't feel like very gruff and like yeah. But it was a fun time. I'd recommend watching it. I don't know. Well, Chris has been quiet from the sounds of it. I don't know if he's much of a Tekken fan, but I know.
I'm looking at the announced characters for Tekken 8. I'm just like, what the fuck is this list of characters?
I know you've played a few Tekkens, Brandon, so I know you're a bit of a fan. So I'd recommend watching it. It's on Netflix.
I'm just looking at this list of characters. I'm like, you could play as Tifa fucking Lockhart.
What?
What?
Like, Tifa Lockhart is going to be a guest character in Tekken 8.
Oh, it's a guest. I was like, right, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes.
And guess who else is in it? Fucking Adolf Hitler.
What?
Adolf Hitler. No, 11 from Stranger Things. Doomslayer.
What?
Master Chief.
What?
Doomslayer.
Are you joking right now?
I'm going to link you guys what I'm reading right now. I don't know if this is true or not. There's like a whole list of characters like for this Tekken 8 thread. I'm just like, this can't be right. There's just way too much going on here.
Wait, Hayachi is in the game. He must
Well,
be...
it says Jinpachi rather than Heihachi.
Oh wait, yeah. Oh wait, no.
So Jinpachi is the more of the pointed mustache one, but I'm not sure if it is introduced as a final boss in Tekken 5.
Wait, what? Wait, I don't know.
That's a lot of names.
There's a shitload of characters.
Well, while I'm skimming through this, just to give you my history with Tekken is I played the very first Tekken when it very first came out, and that's it.
Yeah, from... Oh, when you saying... Oh.
Like the original PS1 one. I've played that one.
No, I was just looking at the character list, Brandon. Right now, it's only 2 characters have been confirmed.
Well, it says here for confirmed it says under confirmed characters, then it's got like a whole list down.
On here, it says the only 2 characters have been confirmed for Tekken 8 are Jin Kazama and Kazuya Mishima, which makes sense because they're the only 2 in the trailer.
Wait, what? Are you looking at the same thread as me?
No, I'm not. I'm looking at something else. But
I'll say because these confirmed this is the whole list of confirmed characters. I'm just
where's the wiki? Where's wiki? I'm gonna find wiki.
Yeah, I'm on Tekken fandom wiki, and it's just like there's so many people.
One of the stages is Snoopy Dog. The fuck?
Don't say that. Is it actually?
It really is.
There's a Nicki Minaj. Nah, come on, stop it.
I think you're just fucking joking with us right now. I literally think you are.
It's just got to be a wind-up, surely.
Yeah.
Master Chief's in it. Johnny Cage is in it.
No. I think you're just fucking with us now. But
there is a stage called Snoopy Dog.
But as you're saying about, I think from what I hear about, like especially the PlayStation 1 Tekkens, I hear Tekken 1, Tekken 2 is playable, and I just
the third one's everyone's favourite one.
And I hear Tekken 3 is where it found its footing, and just when I replayed it the other week, I was like, yeah, this is why this is my favourite Tekken. Just the whole roster's great. It plays well.
I need to know, does the animation in the new series hold up to the Uncanny Valley FMV from the Tekken games? There's no way, right? There's no way they can look like Jim with his sideways eyes, looking demonic.
Uncanny Valley? I don't know. But I've only played. I have played 1 because my brother had it, and I've got 3 and Tekken Tag, and I have played 4, but I haven't played any of the others.
I've played 1, 2, 3, 4 Tekken Tag tournament, and I think I played a little bit of Tekken 7, but not a lot.
Tekken 4's interesting, but I know I think the console versions had it's a little bit like Soul Calibur 3. I think both Tekken 4 and Soul Calibur 3 had similar problems with its saves, and I did have both of them, and I got rid of them because of that reason. Where I think the problem is it could delete your whole save. There was like you could have the problem of the saves on those games being corrupted, or could just delete, or wouldn't save. So I was like, well, Tekken 3's better, and Tekken Tag's better in my personal opinion, and Soul Calibur 2's better than Soul Calibur 3. So, and I played Soul Calibur 4, and I was like, yeah, Soul Calibur 2 is still better.
Here's my issue with this supposed fake list: is why is it you can play as 11? I get that. But why is it you can play as Bill Hangrove, but you can't play as Hopper? Hopper would fit right into Tekken, and he's not there.
He's one starting the fights and everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I could believe that one. Actually, I think he'd fit more into Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this whole list. Like, you got Cloud, Tifa, you've got Freddy and Chica from Five Nights.
No, Sephiroth.
I think this sounds like fucking bait, Brandon. This sounds like fucking bait.
I hope... But part of me wants to wish that it's not bait, because imagine if you had all of these in it.
I could see Tifa being a character. I could, but although anything else, nah. It just sounds like it's all fake and just bait. But Tifa, I could actually see as being a proper Tekken character. I think she would fit right into a Tekken. It's like Cloud could fit right into Soul Calibur.
Tifa, they'll put her in Dead or Alive just to show off the physics.
Yeah, that is true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I say that. Tifa would be far better in Dead or Alive. Well, she technically was in Dead Fantasy.
Actually, the more I look at this, I think Adolf Hitler would fit in well in Dead or Alive as well.
Well, like I said,
doing the beach volleyball.
Well, like you said, you had Dead Fantasy. I think she was in that. We had all the basically all the Final Fantasy girls in Dead Fantasy. I don't know if either of you know what Dead Fantasy is.
No. But, I'll tell you what, you're on about Crouch. I've been in there. I'm on about PS1 games.
Yeah.
Did you ever play the fighting game Energize?
No.
Like Bless the Ring?
No.
Neither did I. I heard it was shite, but it sold loads of units just because they put Cloud Strife in it. It's like a bonus character.
The way you said it made it sound like, oh, I've played that game, and it's just like, no, I've not played it, and it's meant to be bad.
I remember seeing a lot of advertisements for it when it came out, but no one I know actually played it.
There was another fighting game I used to play on the GameCube. I'm just trying to remember what it's called, but basically you had characters which could transform into beasts. Because like you've got characters like Shenlong who can change into a tiger. You've got
is this what Samurai Warriors? Is it Samurai?
No, it's called Bloody Raw. Bloody Raw Primal Fury, that's it. So every character had like an alternative form. So you know how, like, when you play like Tekken Tag, like if you had like Jin or Kazuya and you was paired up with the devil, like you could transform into said other character.
Yeah.
In Bloody Raw Primal Fury, what you could do is you could charge up like your rage meter, and then once your like rage meter, it's probably not called a rage meter, it's probably called something else, but you then transform into a creature. And I thought like, it was a really sort of unique. I thought it was quite of a unique fighting system. So, because the final boss in it, Kronos, he could literally just turn into a phoenix or a Garuda. It was fucking beautiful. There's like this giant beetle was one. You had a tiger. You had some sort of weird experimental mantis thing. I think if I was to like make like a tier list of my favorite fighting games I've ever played, my first one would be Tekken Tag 2, but my second one would be Bloody Raw Primal Fury. I really, really loved that game. I used to play it all the time with my little brother. It was so fun.
When you said a game where people like transform into animals, I was thinking, what, Animorphs? Like, Animorphs got a fighting game. The old book series. Wow, if that got a dark and gritty reimagining, like a 90s children's book series, that I kind of couldn't believe that would exist. The late 90s, early 2000s, anything goes.
Oh yeah, you know how they were. I remember what was it in primary school watching like strange 80s TV shows, a bit like Animals, and it's just like, what are these? Like, I think these days they probably weren't even good TV shows compared to the stuff we watch these days, but it's just like, it just bellowed like the vibe of like the 80s and early 90s.
So much weird stuff back then.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
like today when you got like Tekken with Adolf Hitler in it. Not at all.
Well, on still like video games, I don't know if you've seen that. Finally, the next Zelda game has its name, and another.
Yeah.
I watched the trailer the new trailer this morning. It was only like, I thought it was longer, but it was only like a minute and a half, and I was like, wait, that's it? That trailer's shit. And I just begin to watch another trailer. But I saw a meme earlier today by someone I know who's a Zelda super fan, and it was just like, I feel really stupid for calling Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild 2. Why would the hell would it be called Breath of the Wild 2? That's a stupid thing.
Well, Breathing of the Wild, surely.
I think the name's fine. I think until I play the game, won't know. I just have this hope that it's not just save Princess Zelda again. I think I'm kind of a bit done with that in Zelda games. A bit. I know maybe it's like, well, that's kind of the fucking point, but I'm like, no.
I feel like they need another take like the different Majora's Mask. Like, just make something just so different.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to just be like, explore this world and at the end you save Zelda. I'd rather have one Zelda be a bit more prominent in the story, not just in flashbacks, and two, have a bit more story in it compared to Breath of the Wild, because the fact that pretty much the urgency of Breath of the Wild is basically you wake up and realistically you should just go and kill Ganon right there and then, and that is like what the story of Breath of the Wild is, just kill Ganon. There you go, wake up, kill Ganon, boom, you're done. I'm hoping Tears of the Kingdom's good, but we'll see. Find out in May.
Well, what about games that are coming out soon? Have you seen the trailer for Gotham Knights as well?
No, I played the original. Who's it by? Is it Rocksteady? The Rocksteady Batman.
They did the Arkham Asylum City.
Yeah.
Night.
It's just, it was a different company that did what's the other one? Origins. Yeah. I played Asylum City and Night. I enjoyed them. I think Night was the weakest out of the three, but I enjoyed them. But I kind of, I'm not really that interested in Gotham Knights. I hope it's good, but I don't know. I'll
Good.
see what happens.
It looks good. So instead of like just playing as like Batman, it's like you're playing as like four of them. You're playing as Red Hood, Nightwing, Robin, and Batwoman.
Is it set?
I'm not sure how that's going to work gameplay wise.
When is it set?
It's looking at trailer, it's set after like Arkham Knight. I tell you what, these words are going to come out like word salad because it's like Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, Gotham Knight.
Yeah.
Let's take the same words, just mush them up. So next week we've got Gotham Asylums next, and then
because it's set after night. Clearly, what they're going down. This is me with my Batman knowledge, knowing it because I've read so much Batman. They're doing the in the DC comics. They had a run for a few years. Had a whole run of comics called the New 52, and in the New 52, Barbara Gordon could walk again because as you played the Arkham games, in them she's paralyzed, which is because of the Joker. So in the New 52, she has like some surgery and she walks again. So they're clearly doing that in Gotham Knight. So that's cool to see. But I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna try and do with the four characters.
not sure yet. From what I understand from just the quick trips of the trailer I've seen, I think the main antagonists are going to be is it the Court of Owls? The name of it?
Court of Owls.
They don't name drop them, but I think there's owl imagery in there, so I'm guessing.
They were.
And Mr. Freeze makes an appearance as well.
I know, but in development, it was all. I think it was like leaked that Court of Owls were going to be the main antagonists, which
it looks like it.
Oh, that's I don't know. I'm a bit mixed on that. I think if Batman was prominent in the game, that would make sense a bit more. But because I don't, without spoilers, I don't think he will be. I don't know. I'm a bit mixed on that because the Court of Owls are very linked to Batman, not really the other four characters. But hey.
My knowledge of Batman begins and ends at like the mainstream films and the 3 games I've played so far. So really, I know nothing about the 4 characters. I know Batwoman. I know that's Barbara Gordon. I know. Well, I say no Robin, but hasn't he had like about 4 or 5 Robins?
Yeah, there's like 4. No, there's. Was it? There's 5. There's been 5 Robins, I think. Yeah, but what? Yeah. I think there's been 5 Robins, but one of them is only in a certain comic, so it's not really a canon Robin. So there's actually been 4 Robins, but there is a 5th, but it's not part of the actual canon. It isn't. It isn't. It's But
I wonder if that will be like a sort of twist thing in this story. Like he makes an appearance. No, speculation. So, but I honestly know nothing about the characters of Red Hood, Nightwing, and even the current Robin. I've got no idea.
Well, you know who Nightwing is, the original Robin.
Nightwing's the original one. Okay.
Yeah, and then Red Hood is the second Robin, who gets killed by, or allegedly gets killed by the Joker, but obviously he doesn't. And then Red Robin is the third Robin, and then the fourth Robin, who's clearly won't be in the game, is Batman's son.
Okay.
This is my Batman comic knowledge coming out because I've got so many Batman comics.
If that's the case, probably slight spoilers for Arkham Knight, but I think most people have worked it out now. Is Red Hood what was the Arkham Knight? Yeah. Okay. Yep. No, that's it. All right, I probably know more about him than you.
Because it was like the most. I remember when Arkham Knight came out, it was like the most. It was like that plot twist that everyone saw, like from the moment they meant, like from the trailer. It was like, yeah, we know who the Arkham Knight is. It's like, no, you don't. You don't know. It's not this person. Then everyone played the game, and it was like, yeah, we guessed it when you announced the game. It was like the worst worst kept secret ever.
You say that, but when I first played it, and knowing nothing about the comics.
Yeah,
I didn't know who it was. Like, even when he announced it, I was like, "Who?"
I guess that's my bad. I guess for someone who's read a whole load of Batman comics, it was like the worst kept secret ever. But I guess if you don't know anything, it's like, whoa, what the fuck?
Because I've seen like a lot of YouTubers say like the same thing. It's like, oh, a twist that everyone saw coming. It's like, apart from the people who haven't read the comics.
Yeah, I guess that is true. That is
So,
true. That is my bad.
I don't know, not at all. Yeah, but I remember when it came out. I remember being at work and discussing the game with my workmates, and I was staying awake at night because I was like thinking, who the fuck's the Arkham Knight? Trying to work out his identity. I just wanted to go home and play it so I could find out who it was. Because I thought, oh, is it going to be someone like Mr. Freeze or something? Is it going to be like I'm genuinely trying to work it out?
Like, and it's just me, just like, oh yeah, I can see it's I'm gonna actually forget his name. Oh, I can't even remember his name.
Oh, Jason Todd, is it?
Yeah, Jason Todd. I was like, yeah, I can tell it's Jason Todd. The second Robin. I enjoyed the free Arkham games, and maybe I'll give it a chance. I guess I'll see how it fares. Really, I think maybe Knight just bloated the whole thing a bit for me. I don't know. I think Knight just wasn't the best finisher. I think I love like Arkham City and Knight were just. Arkham Asylum and Arkham City were just like absolutely amazing.
City's the best one. Like, if it isn't obvious to everyone at home, I've currently been replaying all the Batman games back to back, and I've just got up to Arkham Knight. I've not refinished it again. But
I think,
my God, they love to throw in like the Batmobile for like every puzzle. It's like, can Batman do anything in his own?
The way I see Arkham Asylum and City is, I think the gameplay of City is far superior to Asylum, but I think the story of Asylum is better than City. The only reason is I find the final section of City feels really forced with the Joker, and it just feels like we got to have a last bit thing with the Joker, and it just feels so forced.
And the twist at the end was good because again, I didn't see it coming because I actually won't spoil this one because I didn't know the characters. So I thought, oh, that's pretty neat.
It just felt like because Joker does take a back seat in City compared to like the other villains, but it did feel like they shoehorned him in just to be like, well, we need to have like a big confrontation between Batman and Joker, so we'll have that right at the end, and it felt a bit forced in my opinion. Maybe you know, it's
I'd say it's been shoehorned way more into Night because it's like they're trying to have a different plot with the Scarecrow, and it's like, but let's make it all about Joker still, even though he's no longer with us.
Alright. Anyway,
like, you alright?
Nothing. Yeah. But what else was announced along with Zelda? This is more for me, not for you guys. Is the new Fire Emblem game?
Oh, you was going to say that.
Another one.
Yeah. This is the actual next Fire Emblem game, not the Free Hopes, because Free Hopes wasn't. It's not really a proper Fire Emblem game. This is the actual next Fire Emblem game after Three Houses. This is called Fire Emblem Engage, and the gimmick of this game is that you get rings that have past characters from Fire Emblem games that you can kind of summon in combat. So it shows off only two of them, which is one is Marth, which makes complete sense because he's the original main character of the first Fire Emblem game, and then the other one who I didn't even know about, and I literally had to read up about him this morning because I only watched the trailer this morning, is Sigurd, who is the main character of Fire Emblem 4, which has not been released outside of Japan. Because I was like, that's why I don't know anything about him. unless you're Japanese, you've not played it anywhere else in the world. But it looks interesting. I hate the main character's hair colour. It looks absolutely terrible. It's a mixture of red and blue. It looks fucking dire. But other than that, the Engage looks really cool. And since I'm still playing Shadow Dragon, I'm really looking forward to playing Engage. I will be pre-ordering that as soon as possible. Or probably as soon as I get paid. I'm going to be pre-ordering that.
Neat.
I know, you're so ecstatic, Chris. I know.
I do keep meaning to get around to playing them because I do like the sort of turn-based strategy combat.
All I'd say, I know Free Houses, it just would not be is just probably not the right Fire Emblem game for you. I can, when I play it, I can just tell like I think all the monastery stuff just would not be up your street. Just with how I know how you feel about Persona, I just know it wouldn't be your thing. But I think you quite like Shadow Dragon is very bare bones, and I think you quite like that because it's probably more. Well, it's on like the NES. I think that's probably a bit more your thing. Or Sacred Stones. Sacred Stones is a really good Fire Emblem game. If there's one, that was the first one I played. I think I need to check if you can have multiple saves. I might just lend you my copy of Sacred Stones to play.
I can get it. It's fine.
Or you can find it another way.
I certainly can. I'll have a look. So long as the action's like ticking along.
I recommend.
I don't like it when it's like dragged down by too much dialogue.
I recommend Sacred Stones. Out of the three I've played, I think Sacred Stones would be the best. It was my first Fire Emblem game, and I'm so thankful that it was my first Fire Emblem game compared to the other two. Although Three Houses is my favourite, but Sacred Stones was the perfect one to get into it. But I think Engage looks like it's going to take a lot of the things I like about Three Houses, but then it's going to have like the legacy of the franchise, and I'm really itching to. I think out of everything, it's the one game I'm really itching to play. I think it's because I've been playing so much Fire Emblem recently. I'm like, a new Fire Emblem has been announced. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it next year. But
neat.
That wasn't the only thing. Wait, what were you going to say?
No, carry on.
I was just about to say that wasn't the only thing announced in the Direct. They announced some stuff that I know Brandon is very interested in.
Yeah, so they've announced more for the Nintendo 64 expansion pack. And so, in particular, the stuff coming out in 2022, so at the back end of this year, it's just going to be basically some like crappy sports ones. But there's also going to be like Mario Party 1 and 2 coming this year. I mean, I've just lost the actual picture of it. But what I personally am more excited about... What's that?
Sorry, carry on. My mistake.
I'll say what I'm more excited about is what's happening in 2023. Because not only are we getting Pokemon Stadium 1 coming to the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo 64 expansion pack, we've also got Pokemon Stadium 2 coming, which is a game I've actually never ever played before. And I'm really, really excited for the opportunity to actually having to be able to play this game. So I'm very, very hyped for that. But even more exciting than that is in late 2023, we are expecting to get GoldenEye 007 coming to the Nintendo pack. And it's going to have online multiplayer.
And it's also on Game Pass as well.
What, the original one?
GoldenEye is, yeah.
Well, the absolute original one?
Yep.
Is it really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But
I think some of them are going multi-platform because you got to remember, Rare made GoldenEye, and obviously Rare are owned by Microsoft now.
But they've actually managed to get the licensing for it, so I'm super excited for that. Just just being able to actually just play it on the go and everything. So I think that's gonna be super, super fun. It's just more and more stuff which I can play when I'm like on a long trip journey or something.
I just want to play Donkey Kong 64 on the Xbox now, just to really confuse people, because that's rare as well.
You just want to beat King K. Rool in that boxing ring. I know you do.
Well, yeah.
You're like, not really. It's like a terrible boss fight, but still.
Yeah, I do actually, because I've never actually beat Donkey Kong 64. I got as far as that, but I didn't get the Nintendo coins because you got to do the old arcade games to do it, and I was terrible at them. So I never actually beat Donkey Kong. I got like pretty much everything else apart from that.
Oh, they got Excite Bike 64 is coming to the pass, and 180 snowboarding. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I meant by the crappy sports games.
I think 180 snowboarding is meant to be pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
I'm not interested in sports stuff.
Excite Bike. I've never played Excite Bike. I keep meaning to give it a go because you got the original on Switch Online at the moment because it's on. Is it NES? Yeah.
I'm not a fan of sports stuff. For me, it's going to be Mario Party 2, Mario Party 3, Pokemon Stadium 2, and the GoldenEye.
I can't say I'm overly excited because of how they've handled all the other ports.
I'm the same.
They're all like the bare minimum, and half of them don't fucking work properly.
I still haven't bought the N64 stuff, so
no.
It's been super handy playing the Switch stuff when you've got like long trips to do. If you're not like the driver.
I know when it was announced, it was far more up your street than both mine and Chris's, and I love the fact that you're having an absolute blast.
Yeah, because I mean, at the moment, I've been replaying Banjo Kazooie because I went down to Legoland at the weekend.
Oh, nice.
And for the actual, journey there, I was just replaying Banjo Kazooie, and I'm having a blast of a time. Like I know at first you guys were skeptical about, how well it plays in the frame rate and stuff, but I've had no problems whatsoever with it.
I think that's the problem. Like, it's always like it's always like, oh, there's always the potential of the problems, but then it's like it might all the things you hear. It's like no, but then you read online and it's like yeah, we had all this problem, but it's like I don't know, word of mouth. There's never really much.
Yeah, but I've had no problems with that whatsoever. There's one area where it's had like a little bit of lag, but it's literally just only one area, and that's the spinning platform jumper to get into the urn near the Gobi Valley. But I've had literally no problem playing it at all. It's played wonderfully. Controls it took a bit getting used to the controls because when they give you the descriptions of how to do moves, they're still using the Nintendo 64 language. So it's like remembering, okay, which button you have to press is the Z button, and which one's like the left and right trigger, if you know what I mean.
That's one of the issues I'm talking about. Like they're doing the bare minimum, they're not updating them or optimizing them.
So I don't care. I mean, I've got them. It just takes a little bit getting used to the controls. But once you do, it's fine. Yes, maybe I'm looking forward to playing skeptical.
Maybe I'm just still steps. I can't spell. I can't speak.
Oh, fucking hell.
Try again. Maybe I'm just a bit skeptical. There we go. Because I've still got all my N64 stuff and GameCube stuff. So when they've announced it, all it's like, yeah, I've still got them. I'm in no rush to go out and play them. I could play them right now if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got the N64 stuff. Like, I've got Pokemon Stadium. I've got Buck Bumble, I've got Armorines and stuff. But, if I want to replay some of these older games, I need to get those memory packs for them. Like, trying to play Buck Bumble without a memory pack, I have to do it all in one sitting, and that could be quite a challenge.
It's worth it. But here's the thing. You say you're looking forward to Pokemon Stadium 2, and that's fair. But how much are you actually going to get out of it? Because it's not going to be compatible with, like, the old, like, Game Boy Color packs like it was with Gold and Silver.
Honestly, I don't care because I never did that with the original Pokemon Stadium anyway. I'm just there for just the completionist aspect of, in the original Pokemon Stadium, I tried to get all the trophies for each of the arenas. I then tried to do the Elite, like all the 8 gym badges and the Elite Four. That's what I enjoyed. I didn't care about this bring in your Game Boy Color and get fancy pants nicknames and colors for your Pokemon and choose what moves they've got. Like I really didn't care about that. I had enough fun playing with the presets. I didn't need this extra stuff involved with it because really you don't need it to play the game. It's just there for kids to be able to play. Oh look, there's my Caterpie who are called Squidward. Like, you know what I mean? It's going to be the same thing for Pokemon Stadium 2. I'm just going to be happy playing with the presets. Like, I don't need to have like the gold and silver Pokemon from there. It's fine without it.
See, that's fair enough. It just seems weird because that was like the entire point of Stadium existing is for the whole interconnectivity with your old cartridges. Yeah. The rest is like we're tacked on like extra modes.
Well, I'd assume that maybe you transfer them from whatever it is now for Pokemon. I don't know what it is now, but
I would say maybe you could do it with Sword and Shield, but I wouldn't hold my breath.
But it would only be Gen 1 and 2. That's the thing.
Yeah, but still, I wouldn't hold my breath to do that. I imagine it'd just be exactly the same. So you'll be able to play like your trophy stuff, sure, and like the mini games in it, but that's pretty much all it's going to be, right?
That's all I want.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
That's all I grew up with. That's all I want. Like I said, I don't really care about playing with the Game Boy stuff.
Okay.
I know. Oh, sorry. Carry on.
It just makes me wonder, like, of all the games they could port in that one, like when there's so many more. Like I know Pokemon's popular, but there's way loads of other games they could port, like full games really,
like
rather than.
That were on the Nintendo 64.
Oh, now we're talking. South Park. Where's the port of that?
That's not a Pokemon game. But
I'm just saying, like all games.
But I mean, I do look forward to South Park. Like if that ever comes, that'll be a really fun game to play.
Right.
Like South Park, like just online play.
To be fair, the multiplayer on that was dope.
But I know at the Direct they also announced Octopath Traveler 2. I have the original one and I've not even played it, so I think I best start playing it ready for the second one. I know they announced Pikmin 4. I've yet to play Pikmin 3. What else? I think they announced a few other stuff. Hasn't the new Spider-Man game been announced for next year?
No,
I've not been keeping up with it, to be honest.
Oh, I've got a list of all new games coming out. I'll send it to you guys somehow. It's on Instagram. That's the only problem. It is by our favourite people, IGN.
Oh, of course.
I don't know how.
Well, why you stumble with that?
Yeah,
I've actually played a new game. We've done a lot of speculating today. Not actually done stuff we've really played all that much. So
Well, the problem is with me, because I went to Scotland. I've not really played anything new. I was going to, and then I just fell into my comfort zone because I just got really tired every day. Like the first night I got there, I went to bed at 9:30. I was fucking shattered.
Yeah.
My
work hours have increased as well, so I'm finding less and less free time. They've increased again this week, so I've got even less time. Anyhow, well, why you look for that? So I've played a little game called Metal Hellsinger, which came out this week. Do you guys know much about this one?
I know nothing. I've seen stuff about it online, but I've not looked at anything about it online.
Okay. So this game, as I say, came out last week. And the first I'd seen of it was only a couple of days ago. I saw someone I follow on Twitch playing it. I was like, what's this? This looks badass. And I was looking at the visuals, and it just looked like Doom Eternal. It's like fast-paced, first-person shooter, set in hell. And I was like, this is very much up my alley. And lo and behold, I'll go on Xbox to have a look, and it's on Game Pass. So I was like, oh,
Perfect.
sweet. I'll download that then. Started playing it, and yeah, it's I've not played an awful lot, but I've had a right blast with it so far. So, as I say, first-person shooter set in hell. You got a narrator by Troy Baker. But there's a twist with this one. You do go in guns blazing, as one may expect, but the whole thing is played to a rhythm. The main focus of it. Go on.
Oh, so is it a bit like what's that Zelda game, Ballad of Hyrule? Is that what it is?
Was that the one that was like spin-off Crypt and the Necrodancer?
Yeah, you could play as Link, Zelda, and then the main character from Crypt the Necrodancer.
Yeah, it is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that, but in no way whatsoever. Because it's a first-person shooter and it's fast-paced. I suppose. I haven't played those games, so I can't say.
Neither have I.
But no, there is a beat. But so basically, you have to like fire along to the music to basically get a combo going. And the higher the combo goes, the more damage you do. So each time you hit an enemy, you see like a damage number pop up, aka like Borderlands, something like that. And you get a high score as well. And you want to get these high scores because you get more unlocks as well. And if you time it right, you can like get your health back as well. So you're encouraged very much to keep the rhythm up. But what makes it difficult is the soundtrack to it. It's all, the name may imply, it's all fast-paced death metal. So the BPM is going pretty damn quick, from what I've heard. So, from what I understand, all the songs are done by, I'm guessing, an in-house band called Two Feathers. But you've also got vocalists from the likes of Randy Blythe from Lamb of God. You got Michael Starn from Dark Tranquillity. You've got Serge Tankian from System of a Down. You got Matt Heafy from Trivium. You got Alyssa White Ghouls from Arch Enemy. So, it's all really, really heavy, fast-paced music. And each weapon you use moves at like a different speed, at a different beat. So you've got a skull that you can fire fireballs out relatively quickly. So like a sort of 1, 2, 1, 2. And then you've got like a shotgun, which you fire, and then you've got like the reload animation. So that's like a third beat. So bang, 2, 3, bang, 2, 3. So depending on the song, it kind of depends on what weapons you kind of want to use as well. So long as you fire within that beat, then you'll keep the combo going.
That's cool.
But well, I think though, I thought about streaming it, and I'm not sure because I've got no idea how the hell I'm going to keep along to a beat while trying to read chat as well. Can you imagine how hard that will be?
It sounds like
it's hard.
It sounds like a game that you maybe it's not the best to stream because you probably have to sacrifice not talking to the chat to play the game.
Yeah, you had to fully focus on it. Like, playing a game like Doom Eternal is hard enough as it is because it's just fast-paced, constant. And this is the same. It's fast-paced, constant, but you've got to keep to the beat as well, which makes it that much harder. So, I died several times on the lowest difficulty on the first level, which is not something I'd like to admit to, but it's true. I think it's just getting the hang of it. I think once you've listened to the songs a few times, and you sort of know what's coming up, then you'll have a better time. One nice feature of the music in it is it basically just starts off as like a drum beat, and the music changes like the better you do. Like, so you'll get like more guitars kicking, and then when it's like at full combo, that's when you get all the vocals coming in as well. So you get like the full track. So it really picks up, which just adds to the tension of it, because I suppose it makes it harder because you're trying to listen out for that bass drum to keep with the rhythm, and it's like drowning out with not only the song but also all the hellspawn trying to kill you at the same time. And if you get hit, you lose your combo as well. So there's an awful lot to focus on. But what I've played so far, it's been pretty good, and I'm excited to play a bit more.
Sounds interesting. Definitely. I didn't realise it was a rhythm game.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so just looking at it, but it really is there. I suppose you can just play it without doing it, but you'll have a very hard time. Especially on the higher difficulties, because on the looks of the higher difficulties, it's like the timing on it's really, really strict. I think there's a bit lenient on the easier ones. But you've basically got to be a professional drummer to be able to keep up with it.
Well, I know. I know I'm up to date, but we won't talk about the latest couple episodes because I know you two haven't seen them. But you two have finally watched the first 2 episodes of The Rings of Power.
Indeed, we have.
Yes, indeed.
What are your guys' thoughts on it?
As someone who's not a die-hard fan of the books, I'm enjoying it. Basically, like it's nice seeing it from years ago and seeing like a young Galadriel, because it's not really who I thought it necessarily was going to be, like as the main of it, because I went into it expecting nothing, and I came out, enjoying it. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily as good as Lord of the Rings, like it's miles off from that, but it's still a very pleasant watch.
Yeah, so far, so as I say, like the main characters are Galadriel, who is Kate Blanchett's character from the film, and also Elrond, who is Hugo Weaving's role from the film. You may know as the elves. And yeah, so far, it's fine, but I'm not feeling really attached to anyone yet. The 2 episodes I've seen, it all seems to be build-up, which is to be expected, but it seems to be taking its time.
100%, because like that first episode, like usually you'd expect like an episode to have like make you be like, okay, I need to watch the second episode like now to sort of like sort of hook you into it. But it felt like I sent a rod out to catch a fish, and all I caught was just water. I mean, I caught something. I caught water, but I didn't actually catch. I didn't necessarily get caught in that hook. So, but it's building up. It's nice seeing like the expanded world. Like we're not on Middle Earth. We can also see the realm of the elves. The Erd tree, which ironically was in it. I don't know if you thought that as well, Chris and Dan.
I thought that. Yeah.
I didn't think that.
You didn't think it, like this massive glowing tree in the distance.
What I said that made me laugh, well, made my folks laugh during the second episode, is pretty much everyone's having a really bad time, apart from Elrond, who just went round his friend's house for tea.
I mean, I'm kind of glad, like, we're seeing, like I said, we're just seeing snippets of areas. But I didn't expect Durin to be what Durin is. Like, I was expecting something else. 'Cause obviously, it was like really pre-set up during the Hobbit, because obviously, like Durin's days sort of was a big sort of moment for the traveling dwarves.
Yeah.
But I wasn't Durin to just be like just a normal dwarf. Like I thought it was going to be something like. It's going to be interesting just to see how it goes. So obviously, it's set even before Durin's days a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for it. As like I said, as someone who's not a complete diehard fan of the books, like all I've read is just the normal Hobbit and the trilogy books. I've not read any of the other spin-off works or anything like that. It's nice now starting to get a flavour of just the Tolkien universe. It's like I said, it's just nice.
I just kind of hope they pick up the pace a little bit. I don't want them to like do what they did with the Hobbit and just like drag it out like far too much.
Or stick filler in.
Yeah, well, I suppose. I'm waiting for it to go somewhere. Like they've built up like Sauron as like the main antagonist, and like that's fair, but they don't win. Not really.
See, that's one thing which I found really interesting. Like, I'm not sure if it's just something that blew over my head when I watched the original trilogies, but I thought Sauron was the big bad, but he's not.
It's
There's someone
Morgoth.
above Sauron.
Morgoth.
Yeah, I can't remember if that was discussed in the films, but that's just gone completely over me. I was just like, holy
that's
crap.
not a
Nah.
thing mentioned in the Lord of the Rings because Morgoth is long gone by the Lord of the Rings, which is the third age, because the Rings of Power is the first age, and then the Silmarillion, I believe, is either before or around, or no wait, Silmarillion is before. Sorry, I think I don't know, but Rings of Power is in the first age, and I think the second age is around where they fight Sauron, I believe. Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe I got that wrong. I don't know. I think I've got the second age wrong. But, yeah, The Lord of the Rings is the third age, and the Rings of Power is the first age. And Morgoth was like the big bad before Sauron. Well, Sauron was... Because I actually watched a video on Sauron and Morgoth today, and so Sauron was Morgoth's underling for a while. But like Morgoth was basically just chaos, and Sauron was like control.
But there's one thing which I'm sure you may have noticed this as well, Chris, and
Yeah.
you probably as well, Dan. When they were just floating on the river and that giant fish monster attacked them,
Yeah.
why the fuck did the fish not chase them?
I did wonder that. Like this giant worm comes up here and they just float to a bit of wood and it's just gone.
It just loses interest. I'm just like, if that was any other sort of disaster film and you're lost at sea, similar to Jaws, you'd know that worm would go straight after that raft of wood. Like, they're basically just swimming. How could it lose attention so fast? Like, is it literally an ADHD monster?
I actually thought of you, Brandon, when this scene happened. When they,
From when I played Stranded Deep or something.
Yeah, well, when it was floating on the raft and you just seen like the worm go underneath it, it's big. I was like, oh, I bet Brandon loves this bit. I bet he shat his pants watching
Well, I was getting more Subnautica vibes because as from playing like Subnautica, like I know if I got under that water, I know a Leviathan's going to come after me. But it's just the fact that that giant monster just left them alone. I thought they've built up this like really scary looking monster attacking this ship. Well, I say ship, this floating bit of wood. But it just loses interest just so fast. I'm just like, come on. They could have gave it more suspense.
Yeah, maybe it's a little. Since of the time it's set, do you reckon Gollum's going to make an appearance, like as actual sort of in proper Hobbit form? He's bound to, right?
No.
No.
No. Because the One Ring hasn't been forged yet.
Hasn't been made yet.
Oh no, it's not been made yet, but I'm thinking like way ahead.
But
right.
It was in the hands of man for a while before it got into the hands of Gollum. So
who knows where it's going to go?
I doubt it. You know, did you realise that Lenny Henry's one of the hobbits?
So yeah, he's the best part of it so far.
Yeah. I didn't realise on the first episode, but then the second episode I was like, wait, shit, that's Lenny Henry.
Yeah. I just had a look at the casting before I started watching the first episode, and he was like the second build. He's like Lenny Henry. He's like, he's not exactly the first person that springs to mind when I think Lord of the Rings. It won't be my go-to casting choice, but I'm glad they did because I bloody love me some Lenny Henry.
Yeah. I've enjoyed it so far. I don't know. I'm like, I can see some of the criticisms of the show, and I don't know. I think it depends what you want to get out of it. I've been liking it. I'm not gonna say it's super amazing. I'm not gonna be like, it's the best thing I've ever watched, but I am quite enjoying it. Like when I watched the 4th episode, I had a good time watching it. But yeah, I personally, the character I've really liked the most is Galadriel. I think the actress who's playing her is really good, and I like the way they've kind of given this kind of vendetta or this mission for her character. She's kind of like obsessed on like trying to like defeat the orcs, and in a weird way, it's like knowing how Return of the King ends. It's this weird kind of like, I don't want to say, maybe kind of weird full circle moment when you kind of see how it all ends, when you like realize how it all ends in Return of the King, and then watching Rings of Power and seeing how she is there, and it's like, well, she will get there, but it's like she is like a completely different character, and clearly the way she feels and this kind of like mission will change her.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, she gets a ring as well, but yeah. No, she's about one of the characters I've liked the most. Like I said, I've quite enjoyed it for a few reasons, but for a lot of reasons. But I can also see the criticisms as well. But
Some of the criticism I've just outright refused to accept.
You can't please everyone. Like even like She-Hulk, I see so many people absolutely hating on it, but then I see so many people being like, "Well, this is what it is. It's
the same demographic, like the same ones that moan about The Boys as well. The ones that won't keep saying, "Oh, everyone's offended by everything," but just continue to be offended by everything.
I think like some of the criticisms on it's completely not talking about Rings of Power now. This is She-Hulk. Some of the criticisms for She-Hulk are like, well, have you ever read a She-Hulk comic? No. So your criticisms are invalid because this is what the She-Hulk comics are. So, it's kind of like similar. It's like, I don't know, like they're not. I think both of them aren't trying to appease certain audiences. They're just trying to do their thing, and I think audiences are taking it in probably the wrong direction, or I don't know, or they're too super hard as Tolkien fans. I don't know. I'm enjoying it.
I wouldn't say someone's opinion is invalid because they haven't read comics. Because if they haven't and they're watching the show, well, the show's got to stand on its own 2 feet. It's its own medium.
I think what I mean is, I think they're saying it's for like I've seen comments about She-Hulk where it's like it's this, but then it's like, well, it's not trying to be that because that's what the comics are. So your criticism or what you're trying to say about the show is wrong. That's what I mean.
Okay.
The thing that gets me is some of the criticisms we're getting for the Rings of Power is like, well, why are they getting a black actor to play this role? And I'm just like, for fuck's sake, come on.
Let's not go there. I keep reading about it with the bloody Little Mermaid.
I knew you mentioned that. I knew you mentioned that.
No, because that's what's bugging me. I'm just like, for goodness sake, it doesn't matter. Just watch the fucking show.
It doesn't.
That's a different rabbit hole for a different day, I think.
Yeah, let's stay clear of it. But it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but racism should have no part in criticizing stuff. Like, keep racism agendas out of stuff and just enjoy the media.
It's fictional.
It's fictional. Like, come on.
Well, let's move on to a different topic. So, must have been about a month back, we posted on our social media that we played Dungeons and Dragons.
Dun dun dun.
Yes,
literally D&D.
Yes, I DM'd for these two boys and our mate. I was debating asking him to come on for this section, but then I thought it might be a bit weird. So I thought no, we'll just ask you two just have us free. But so how did you guys find it all? Because you two had never played D&D before.
You want to start us off, Chris?
Well, for me, it's certainly a new experience because, as Tan says, neither of us have played D&D before. So we went to a public place in town where it's catered for everyone to play stuff like D&D or your card games like Yu-Gi-Oh. Basically, it's an open space with like tables set up for everyone to play whatever they want. I quite like the place we went to.
It's good. It was what got really loud, and it made me go. I think for doing D&D again, it's not the place to do it because it just got very loud. I think for like card games and board games, it was fine, but for D&D, our session was fairly simple. But I said to our mate who played as well, I've said to him like we're not going back there to play D&D. We're not. So I'm not ever going to play D&D there again just because it was too loud.
Yeah. So Dan here did set up a nice campaign for us. He did a nice monologue at the start, setting up the whole world. The sad thing is, I think between us all, we only heard about a third of it. So could not hear Dan at all. Yeah, I was sitting right next to you, and I was like, I think I caught a sort of gist of that.
Like I said, it's because the place was so loud. It was a bit of a shame. To be fair, it was just me. The whole information was a bit. I know this kind of sounds a bit redundant. It was pointless. I didn't really need to say it, but I wanted to set the scene and be like, here's me setting the scene. Like I did, because originally it was I did like a 2-session campaign, and it really set the scene, and it made it like had a direct like the final boss was like related to it, the whole thing. But I was like, I just wanted to make a session that was set in that place. But I was like, I'm still going to set the scene to give you an idea of the little world I've created.
How many RPGs fall into this trap, though, where they spend so much time building up the world and everything about it, all its lore, and then you just spend like the entire game just like in the sewers or so many. But yeah, it was a nice little experience. So we had our characters planned out ahead of time. We set some time before we met up to create our characters. So, Brandon, would you like to tell the lovely listeners what character you had?
So I was a Dragonborn druid. My character had this background of he grew up, in a quite well established as a very, very smart individual. But he was just sick and tired of the academia lifestyle, and all he wanted to do was just relax, retire, and basically escape to the countryside. He is excellent at dealing with otherworldly creatures, so demons, devils, anything like that. Fantastic to deal with. The only caveat of this is that my character had an overwhelming desire to cuddle any animal or living creature, which really sort of set us back up one particular fight, didn't it, Chris?
Yes, it fucking did.
I nearly died.
The thing is, I love the fact that you like. I knew this as you told me as DM. I was like, I'm going to be that DM and put an animal in the combat and piss Chris and our mate off, because you're just going to be like, I don't want to kill this animal. And I was like, me
and his mate are just shouting at each other. It's like, fucking kill it.
And I'm just there cuddling it, going, it just wants to be friends.
It's biting your face off.
I lost over half my HP.
Like I said, I love the fact that you played into your character. You're like, this is my character. I'm going to play it into it. I know, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm playing for me as the player, not for the session or you weren't metagaming. You were like, I'm playing as my character. I'm not playing to like get through the combat. Like my character would act like this, and I love the fact that you did that. Like that's
literally what I tried to do.
Like to be fair, I was always going to use those models, and then you were like, I was going to use those enemies, and then you went, oh, I like animals, and I was like, fuck. And then I thought, yeah, fuck it, I'm still going to use them. It'll be funny.
And it really was. I was in stitches because you guys were like, for fuck's sake, Brandon.
Especially when I only have 4 HP left, and was like, do something. So that was Brandon's character. I went with a dual class just to be awkward because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I thought, I may as well confuse myself further. So I went for a necromancer / sorcerer, or as I like to have dubbed him after our play session, the rail cannon. Because there's a spell called Eldritch Blast, which has quite a long range, and turns out there's a fair bit of damage. That was basically my go-to for everything.
It's literally all you were doing. You're like Mega Man from Konosuba. You're like, explosion!
Pretty much.
Hey.
With Eldritch Blast.
That's what
I tell you
warlocks
what,
do.
It bloody worked though, didn't it? I think my favourite part, like, even though like I racked up quite the body count in the encounters we had, but I think my favourite part was just we got up to like a locked door before we got into like the big fight at the end, and we're like, oh, how do I handle this? And I just went, can I blow the door off its hinges with my Eldritch Blast? And Dan was like, yeah. He's like, well, I'll do that then.
Yeah.
And we got the jump on the enemy because we were surprised. It's like, yeah, I'm not fucking surprised. There's nothing there, and then bang, the door just blows off its hinges when it went flying 30 feet and hits an orc in the face.
I love the fact that I had because with the session, it was the three of them started in a tavern, and then the three of you started in a tavern, and then you had to find a little boy who had gone missing in the market. And when you got to the market, I had like a whole load of ideas of how you would find the information, and I was just like, "Oh, how are you finding this information?" I was just trying to get the three of you to think. And the solution to getting the information was nothing I had written down. And I loved the fact that it was nothing. It was something I hadn't written down, and it still got you to the same thing. I was like, I love the fact that you just picked something out of thin air, and it just made great sense, and just still made the whole thing fun.
Yeah. So just to inform the viewers, so as I said, that my character was deeply obsessed with animals. We managed to try to use my animal like instincts, and we found like a stray cat and got the stray cat to lead us to where these sewers.
And while you were doing that, I was threatening with a god.
Yeah, you were threatening everyone.
I was trying to start a fight. It's like, right, I haven't blasted anything with Eldritch for like 5 seconds. I need to do that.
One of the other things what was it? Yeah, one of the other things I thought was really funny was when you were trying to talk to the goblin, and you didn't, because you never played D&D before, and you didn't know what goblins spoke, and they speak common, but because you didn't know it, you were like, well, what do goblins speak? And we know this language. There's nothing called goblin language. What do goblins speak? I was like, and it's me as DM, I'm just like, well, you can try and talk to them, and you're like, oh, why don't we do that? And it's just me. Then I just come out with this really high-pitched voice, and the three of you were like, oh, goblins speak common. It's like, yeah. It was that difficult. You just had to speak to the goblin.
Came into our house. How dare you?
Yeah, I did this really high-pitched voice. What was really uncanny, though, was I was just about to do it, and in the gaming place, it went dead silent for a whole second, and I was literally just about to do this high-pitched voice, and it was like, oh, fucking hell, I'm not doing that until it picks up in volume, because I'm going to feel absolutely embarrassed doing this voice while everyone is dead silent in this room. But I had a lot of fun DMing it. It was a lot of work planning it. I'll be honest, it was out of the 3 sessions I've done, it was probably maybe my favourite, or it was the one that I did a planned my last one. I had a little dungeon, and I thought, you know what, I didn't plan that dungeon very well, and when I came into our session, I was like, I want to plan this dungeon quite well. So I had a map of the sewers that you went into, and I planned everything of the way everything I wanted. I had like a whole load of traps and like stuff and enemy encounters, and I was like, well, I'll just ask you where you want to go, and wherever you go will determine what happens in the sewers. And that's exactly what happened. I was like, do you want to go straight on or left? And you go, no, because I've got the map. If you go straight on, you've basically got nothing to worry about. If you turn left, which you did, there's a trap and an encounter, and that's what happened. And we got into our first combat, and it was great, the fact that I gave you the choice. You collectively picked a choice, and then you went into combat. Then you're like, oh wait, then I'm like made you roll for like to perceive your surroundings, and then there was a trap, and then you all had to work out how to get by the trap, and yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was definitely experience. I know that much. I don't know if it was really for me, but I'll do it again.
Yeah,
I'll do it every now and again, like once in a blue moon, but it won't be a regular thing for me.
I did wonder if it was you. I know before we did the session, you were like, "I'm not sure if it is something for me." So I'm not. I'm kind of not surprised that's the way you feel.
Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy myself.
I know,
And
I
it made a nice change. And yeah, I'd do it again with you.
Yeah, my chat.
I know that I like as DM, I did fudge a few roles and decisions because I did it to make it more fun. Because there were a few times that some roles you did, both the three of you rolled quite low, and it was like, oh, you missed again. I was a bit like, I felt really disappointed for you because you missed, and I was like, I don't want you to miss. I want you to have fun. I want you to get your attacks off. I just want the session to be fun. So there were a few times where I was like, I'm just gonna lie and say you hit if you got like a high roll, and I'd be like, it's not really what you need to hit, but I'm just gonna say you did because I don't want you to be rolling low and being disappointed every time. So
yeah, we did get stuck trying to fight something with a really high check, and we just kept rolling low.
So, but I hope those decisions I did to move the session along and to help you, the three of you, have fun, than just being like, I'm just gonna do this to make you win. It was just to make the three of you have more fun playing the game. Because, like I said, there were a few moments that I could tell like something happened and all of you were a bit disappointed with the result, and it was like, I was as disappointed for you. But as DM, I didn't want to really show that either. But I was like, I didn't want that to happen. I wanted them to do this because they would have had a massive smile on their face, and I hope next time their turn comes around, they do that, and I want them to do it.
Well, that's how you keep a player engaged, isn't it? It's like if you're gambling, if it's like your first time, you'll always guarantee to like get a win, even if it's only a small one, just to keep you on that hook. It's just like just keep you going. So yeah, I see the mentality of that.
I'm like I said, I'm glad that the three of you had a lot of fun. Like our other mate who played, I've spoken to him a lot about it. Mainly because I say that I've spoken to you quite a bit about it as well, Brandon, because obviously we went to Snowdon because that was a couple of days after we played D&D. But I think with our other mate, because of who he is and the way I did the session, it definitely suited him far better than in the past that I've played D&D with him. And I think the conversation I had with him about the D&D session we did, he was like, yeah, you definitely did a session that made him come out of his shell a lot more, and it was definitely catered a bit more for him in a way. I didn't cater it for him, but I wanted it to be simple. I wanted the session to be simple, and the way I planned it definitely allowed all three of you to take a very good active role in our session. I didn't feel there was any point that any of you were like, whatever, whip out the phone and started whatever. I felt like all three of you were kind of engaged from start to finish. You all had there was always a moment for all three of you to do something and shine.
I'm glad we had you as DM, and that it was a great experience.
Yeah, and now we've had a bit more expertise, and the next time we get round to playing it, we won't be staring at our phones all the time trying to work out what the hell we've just done, or trying to do.
I think we'll probably still end up doing that, because there's still a lot to take in.
Yeah, we probably still will be. But yeah,
There was an awful lot of I cast this and then like staring at the thing trying to work out what I've done, if it's like relevance or not. It's like, okay, I need to roll this. What am I rolling for exactly?
Yeah.
What is that?
I even now I'm still a bit like I despite how many D&D podcasts I listen to, I'm still like, I think that's right, because sometimes there's on some of the podcasts they do a roll and I'm like, how is that possible? And then I look into it, I'm like, right, I think that makes sense, but I'm still not sure. I don't know how they got a plus 15 on their roll, but somehow they did. So I still have a lot to learn as a player and as a DM. I haven't played D&D as a player in who knows how many years. It must be like 5 years or something like that. But I'll be hopefully playing a homebrew D&D game soonish, and I have my character ready, and I'm hopefully doing some more DMing soon. Hopefully, well, this episode will come out in October. Yes, this episode will come out. Wait, this episode will come out on my mum's birthday. Happy birthday, mum.
Happy birthday, Dan's
Dan's mum.
Yeah, I just realised that. Yeah, I should hopefully be doing some. I'll hopefully be running a session maybe this month. Who knows? Yeah, I've got ideas to do more, and I'd like to play as a player, but I'd like to do some more DMing as well. It's very different. It's weird being on the side of being a DM, because especially after playing, because you realise how much work goes into planning a session. Even a simple session that we did, I did a lot of planning.
Mm-hmm. I do like how you were tucked behind your little board at the end of the table. Like, you do know if that wasn't there, me and Brandon could see it all. We'd still have no idea what the hell we were looking at.
Yeah, we'd still not know what's going on, even if that wasn't
on
there.
the board, it obviously you didn't see it, but on the board it has a whole load of information. So it has this is what you can do in combat. This is how much this costs. This is what you can do here. This, got a whole load of information. I was going to get another one, but then I didn't.
But yeah, if you're going to do it, go all out. Build yourself a proper little fort. Build yourself a bunker and do it properly.
I'm looking forward to having maybe, I don't know, I kind of want to play it on a bit of a longer table, because the 3 times I've DM'd, I've felt like I've not had enough room as the DM, but, that's just the way things go.
Oh, we don't want a bigger table. We could barely hear you as it was.
Well, hopefully next time we do it in a quieter space. It won't be there again, like I said. That place
Get a megaphone each.
That place is lovely, but not for... Now I've done Dungeons and Dragons there, it's not a suitable place for D&D.
Card games, definitely, but not really that. Anywho, well, initially, this episode was mostly going to be D&D flavored, like our previous pirate episode, which is all piratey, which, of course, you've all listened to, haven't you? Yeah, wink, wink. So I did a little bit of research into some Dungeons and Dragons media, just to see what else I can talk about in a similar sort of vein. And I went looking at computer games thinking, surely I've played some Dungeons & Dragons games, even just by accident.
I have.
Turns out I haven't. Not a single fucking one. I went for the list. I recognise names. There's Neverwinter Nights, there's Baldur's Gate. I went for the entire list. It's I haven't played any of these.
Yeah, I've played Neverwinter, but then I can't remember how much I played of it. That's the MMO. I played a bit of that, and then I deleted it. To be fair, I did enjoy it, but I just wasn't playing it. And
I know Baldur's Gate is very highly regarded.
Oh yes.
But yeah, never played it. I just wondered how much they tie into the actual rule sets of the board games, or whether they take massive liberties with it, which I imagine they'd have to, just to make it into a video game rather than a board game.
That was a dramatic pause.
Yeah, I believe that's it, unless there's anything else.
Did you not find anything about a D&D movie?
I did, although I did see this movie blast in 2000. And I'm in no rush to see it again.
Well, there's a new D&D movie coming out at some point this year, I think. Or is it this year or next year? I think it's this year.
I thought it was this year. Yeah. Well, I might be wrong. Maybe it's been pushed back.
The trailer dropped. I don't know when, but it dropped because I watched it. Because it's got Chris Pine in it, who plays a bard.
Aye. Yeah, it looks a hell of a lot better than the 2000 one. Have you guys seen that one?
No.
I've not seen any.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The new one, it's got Hugh Grant as the villain.
Oh, does it? Yeah, interesting.
I know, I always think of Hugh Grant as the rom-com guy. So when he does something that's not that, it's whoa. In what's it called? Death to
Kingsman.
2020 and Death to...
Oh, that's it.
And Death to 2021. When I can't remember, he's that professor in that, and it's just he's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, he's pretty good in that.
But mostly you just think of Bridget Jones, and it's great. Those films that don't appeal to the three of us.
Yeah, you can say that.
Well, it's true. I doubt any of us are interested in those films.
How many times have you watched Bridget Jones?
I think I've seen. I think I've seen the first one, but that's probably because there was nothing else to watch, and I was probably away on holiday with my family. That's the only reason why I've seen it. And I was like, yeah, this isn't my sort of film. I think the best thing I've heard, the best thing about Bridget Jones is the third book. When it got printed originally, it didn't get printed right, and half the book was another book.
What?
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. I think someone was releasing someone else was releasing their book, and it somehow got mixed with the Bridget Jones book, and so half of the Bridget Jones was a completely different book. So you read a part of it, and then it was like, wait, this is nothing to do with Bridget Jones. This is another completely different book or story or whatever. It was absolutely hilarious. I'm going to try and find that article and link it to you guys. It was well funny. This was years ago. Absolute years ago.
I love how there was absolutely no way that this conversation would steer into the direction of Bridget Jones, but you still knew some trivia about it.
Yeah.
It's almost like a D&D campaign you didn't plan out, but we sort of got there in the end.
Yeah.
Funny how things pan out.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find that article.
There we go. I didn't think we'd ever talk about Bridget Jones on this broadcast, but here we are.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Where is it? Printing mishap.
Bridget's printing mishap. That's a name for a book, isn't it?
Printing. Yeah, here it is. Bridget Jones swap with Del Boy in print error.
Or with Only Fools and Horses.
I don't know.
I said Del Boy.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I kind of want to see that. Rodney, you plonky, you've bought these books. They're the wrong ones.
Yeah. So
we're not going to sell these. These are half printed wrong.
So apparently there's a massive recall on all the Bridget Jones books.
That's definitely a Fools and Horses plot. These misprinted books you got to try and stock.
Absolutely brilliant.
I love it. It meshes together so well. And it's still set in Peckham, so you could still have Hugh Grant appear.
Well, there you go for episode 36. Who knew we would talk about Bridget Jones on this fucking podcast?
Dungeons and Dragons, Only Fools and Horses, and together at last. That's got to be the title of the episode.
But as always, you can follow...
Bridget Jones's Dungeons.
No.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
As always, you can follow us on our social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can follow these two on Twitch. Although you haven't been doing much recently, have you, Brandon?
I've just been doing Arc Nights.
Oh, maybe I've not.
That's all I've been doing, but because I've got what I'm now doing is basically starting to chop up my Twitch content into YouTube videos. I need to reel in just how much content I'm producing just so I can have time to catch up on editing, because my fucking god, it's so hot. It takes so long to chop up like a 5-hour stream into a 20-minute video. That's so much effort.
That's why I don't even bother on mine. I'll just upload the whole thing.
I do it because it seems to catch audience retention quite well. So I've just got to do it, and as I do it, I'll gradually get better and better at editing, and then it'll eventually get there.
Dry bread, he puts in however many hours he does for his Pokemon challenges into like a 20-minute, 30-minute video.
It's the same for any YouTube content creator.
Yeah. He just makes this
apart from reactionists who can bang out like 5 in like 20 minutes.
Oh, that's what they are. But yeah, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, social media. Follow these on Twitch, and you'll hear us again in 2 weeks.
You will. We shall discuss other things. There we go. That's an insight into the next one.
Yeah.
Do we have a theme for the next one?
Stuff and things.
I can get behind that.
I have no idea. I feel like there is stuff, but I have no idea.
There's bound to be some stuff out there.
Well, I don't know what we're doing, but yeah. Oh yeah. We'll
stay tuned to find out.
Yes, we'll figure it out. Be safe, everyone who listens to this, and you'll hear us soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Tatty buys.